morning students. Today I am going to start with the remaining portion of the control statements in Java. In the earlier presentation we have studied about the control statements such as if else, the if else if construct and the switch case construct. Now those are the selection statements. Now today I am going to start with a new topic, that is the looping constructs. The first looping construct that I am going to start today is the while loop. Just see the syntax of the while loop. It starts with the keyword while. Then within brackets you have the boolean expression. Now boolean expressions are those expressions which return either true or false. The action statements within the curly brackets, that is the opening curly bracket and the closing curly bracket, as you can see in the syntax. These action statements are the statements which are inside the body of the while loop as well. That is, the portion inside the curly brackets denotes the body of the while loop. Now let's see how it works. The boolean expression will be first evaluated. If it holds true, then the set of action statements inside the while loop will get executed. But if the boolean expression do not hold true, then the set of action statements inside the while loop will not get executed. Consider the Java program shown in this slide. It starts from the main function, which is the public static void main. Then come inside the main function. The first line is int I equal to 5 followed by semicolon. This assigns the value 5 to the integer variable I. So I gets the value 5. Then in the next line you have the while loop. This while loop construct has a boolean expression. The boolean expression is I less than or equal to 10 within bracket. Now this boolean expression I less than or equal to 10 within bracket will be first evaluated. Now since the value of I is 5, so it is obviously less than 10. So the boolean expression I less than or equal to 10 holds true, and then the statement inside the while loop gets executed, which prints the value of I, that is 5, into the output. That's why you can see 5 as the first printed value in the output. Now come to the next line. You can see the statement I++. Here I++ simply increases the value of I by 1. That means now I will become 6. After that there is a closing curly bracket which closes the body of the loop. Now from there again it will jump into the while statement and checks the boolean expression I less than or equal to 10. Again this time, since the value of I is 6, so the boolean expression I less than equal to 10 holds true. And this prints the value of I as 6 into the output. That's why in the output you can see the number 6 getting printed just after 5. Now this whole process will get repeated again until the value of I is less than or equal to 10, because it comes in a loop. As a result, the values of I gets increased by 1 at every step in the loop. And this prints 7, 8, 9 and 10 as the new values of I in the output. That's why after 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 are printed in the output, as can be seen in this slide. Again see the last value of I in the output. It is 10, isn't it? If you see the last value of I, in the output, it is 10. Values greater than 10 are not shown in the output. This is because the Boolean expression I less than or equal to 10 clearly says that the value of I should be less than or equal to 10. I hope you understood this program, how this program demonstrated the concept of the while loop. The next looping construct is the do-while loop. The working of the do-while loop is totally different from the while loop. In a while loop, if the Boolean expression do not hold true, the body of the loop does not get executed at all. But in a do-while loop, the body of the loop gets executed at least once, even if the Boolean expression do not hold true. Now just see the syntax of the do-while loop. The body of the do-while loop is just shown after the do statement. That shows it gets executed at least once. This means the action statements inside the body of the loop gets executed at least once, and then only it checks the Boolean expression in the while clause. Consider the Java program in this slide. It starts with the main function, which is public static void main. Now keep in mind that every Java program should start from the main function. Now come inside the main function. The first statement is int I equal to 5 followed by a semicolon, which assigns the value 5 to the integer variable I. That's why I gets the value 5. Then in the next line you have the do while loop, and it starts with the do statement. Since the Boolean expression in the while clause, which is I less than equal to 4, comes after the body of the loop, so the statements in the body of the loop gets executed at least once. This prints the value of I as 5 into the output from the statement system.out.println I followed by a semicolon. Then in the next line you have the statement I++, which increases the value of I by 1. So I becomes 6 now. Then the body of the loop closes as shown by the closing curly bracket. After that there is the while clause, and inside it the Boolean expression I less than equal to 4 gets evaluated. Now since the value of I is 6, so it cannot be less than or equal to 4. So the Boolean expression I less than or equal to 4 do not hold true, and the whole process of the loop stops. So in the output there is only one value of I printed, which is 5. So now I hope you understood how this program works and how did you get 5 as the output in the program. So this program shows that even though the Boolean expression do not hold true, the body of the loop gets executed at least once using the do while looping construct. The next type of looping construct is the for loop, and for loop is the most commonly used looping construct in Java. See the syntax of the for loop. It starts with the for statement followed by a bracket. Inside the bracket of the for statement you have 3 parts. Those are initialization, condition and iteration. Initialization means assigning an initial value to a variable. For example, if the variable is I, then int I equal to 5 can be an initialization statement which assigns the value 5 to the variable I. Then the next part is condition. Condition evaluates a Boolean expression. Example of condition statement can be I less than 10, which checks whether the value of I is less than 10 or not. Then the last part of the for statement is the iteration. Iteration increments or decrements the value of a variable. Say for example, if you have a variable called I, then incrementing means increasing the value of the variable, which in this case is I, and decrementing means decreasing the value of the variable I. Example of incrementing can be I++, which increases the value of the variable I by 1, and example of decrementing can be I-, which can be decreasing the value of the variable I by 1. So this is how the three parts of the for statement, which is initialization, condition and iteration, works. Now just after the for statement, you have the body of the loop with action statements. Now consider the Java program in this slide. This program demonstrates the working of the for loop construct. The program starts with the main function, which is public static void main. Just after the main function, you have the for loop construct. The for statement consists of three parts. Just check the for statement. The first part is int I equal to 5 followed by a semicolon, which is the initialization part, and it assigns an initial value 5 to the integer variable I. The next part is I less than or equal to 10, which is the condition part, and it checks whether the value of I is less than or equal to 10 or not. The last part is the iteration part, which is I++. This increases the value of I by 1 at each step. Now, just after I is assigned the value 5 as shown in the initialization part of the for statement, then it checks the condition I less than or equal to 10. Yes, 5 is less than 10, so this condition I less than or equal to 10 holds true. So now it enters the body of the loop and prints the value of I, which is 5, from the statement system.out.println within bracket I in the output. So in the output you can see the number 5 getting printed. After that, the body of the loop closes with a closing curly bracket. Now after that, it jumps back to the for statement again and executes the iteration part, which is I++, and this increases the value of I by 1, so I becomes 6 now. Again the condition I less than or equal to 10 is checked. Yes, 6 is less than 10, and the condition holds true. So it enters the body of the loop again and prints the value of I, which is 6 in the output. And this process gets repeated, so it continues in a loop. Now as the condition I less than or equal to 10 says that the value of I should be less than or equal to 10, which means that the last value of I should be equal to 10. It cannot be more than 10. So after printing 5 and 6, all the numbers, that is from 7 till 10, are also printed, which shows 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 as the output.